The United States, the Federal Bureau of Investigation's former deputy director of the Terrorist Screening Center stated under penalty of perjury that there were some exceptions to the terrorists having derogatory information or suspicious, reasonable grounds to include people in the list, but those were exceptions that had to do with immigration purposes. That's one part. Then you have Mr. Robinson in this case stating that there's other people included in there, but it's under secret criteria, which one of the arguments we're saying here is that's completely illegal. You cannot have, in the United States government, under the Administrative Procedures Act, all the actions that agencies carry out have to be published. The regulations have to be publicized. So that's another version. And then you have the third version, which is the Office of the Inspector General of the Department of Justice and the Department of Justice audit reports of the Terrorist Screening Center, where they talk about non-investigative subjects being illicitly on the list because they don't either meet that criteria or the investigations were closed and they were never taken out of the list, and many other reasons. But the important thing is that those reports, none of them mention the supposedly immigration purposes that Mr. Groh mentioned in his sworn statement as the exception to the rule, which is no exception really, because 97% of the people on the TSDB are under handling codes 3 and 4, which are the people that when they go to the airport don't have to go through additional screening as the people in selection in number 2. Okay, so Mr. Gross said, no, it's a little exception, a few people. No, it's not. It's 97% of the list. And in fact, the United States Department of Justice documents attest that only 0.29% of the entire TSDB at the time of that audit report constitute known and suspected terrorists. Only 0.29%, not even a 1% of the entire list. So what we're talking here is a terrorist database that is not for terrorists. And that's illegal because the Homeland Security Presidential Directive clearly states that that is a law enforcement tool to include known and suspected terrorists. This takes me to another of the arguments that we're going to be setting forth before the court, which is that federal officials only have immunity